Welcome back to the Pearl Report. A 2010 survey found about 10% of Hong Kong people eat out for dinner at least 5 times a week. We talked to one startup that's changing that, and we take a look at some young chefs who are trying to be more health conscious.
I've been cooking for the last 10 years. Cooking's a very big passion of mine.
Jesse designs meals for a ready-to-cook delivery service.
So this is Berkshire pork from the UK. The farm that these pigs are raised on, they have a lot of space to live. I really like the idea of knowing where my ingredients have come from. We do all the preparing for you, wash, chop everything, so that in 15 minutes you can follow our recipes and cook the meal at home. The one bag gets delivered to you, and that's good for 2 people to go.
A 2-person meal starts at $250.
We're not trying to compete with Welcome. We're not trying to compete with Park and Shop. You know, we know they're going to be cheaper. We're trying to give you a lifestyle experience. I know 20% of my customers will maybe use our product every week, but the mass majority is once a month. On our customer base is at the moment about 70% expat. We have about 2,000 households. Our calorie count per portion is anywhere between 500 calories per person to 900 per meal.
The menu has 5 selections. The startup recently hired a dietitian to monitor the healthiness of its meals.
We got the free-range chicken thigh.
Okay.
That's sliced into small cubes. What are your thoughts on it?
And then I like the idea that you take off the skin for your customer. So because the poultry skin actually is very high in saturated fat.
Saturated fat raises bad cholesterol levels and increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. Sally says we can use light or low-fat alternatives, but notes there's a difference. By law, to be considered low-fat, there has to be less than 3 grams of total fat to every 100 grams of the solid product. For liquids, 1.5 grams per 100 milliliters.
Light has to contain at least 25% less fat than this original product or their competitor. Now, per 100 gram total fat is 14.4 grams. This is definitely not a low-fat product.
The American Heart Association recommends total fat intake for adults to be less than 25 to 35% of daily calories. And the World Health Organization suggests less than 2,000 milligrams of sodium intake a day, but in Hong Kong, the average daily intake is double that.
Hong Kong people are probably eating out quite a lot, having too much sodium from the restaurant food, and maybe sometimes, from the pre-packaged food. A piece of har gow, that would be 120 milligrams of sodium, and a piece of siu mai would be 160 milligrams. Typical Hong Kong person will probably eat out in the breakfast time in a Hong Kong local cafe. And instant noodles in soup with luncheon meat and fried eggs will give you 1,800 milligrams of sodium. Fried rice noodle with sliced beef, that on average will give you 2,300 milligrams. Having too much sodium is associated with high blood pressure.
In the U.S., about 1 in 3 people have high blood pressure. In Hong Kong, 11% of people were diagnosed with high blood pressure from 2011 to 2012.
I believe that, home cooking, first of all, you can control how much salt or soy sauce or, flavoring that you use.
Fill a saucepan halfway with warm water and place onto the stove on the heat. 1 minute each side. And then you have to go. The most important thing is to follow the instructions, I think.
Veronica sometimes buys ready-to-cook meals delivered to her home.
What is the point of buying there if I could go to the supermarket and buy the ingredients myself? But I have tried the beef, the fish, the chicken, the quality is really, really good.
The problem with cooking at home myself is that I always cook the same thing. So what I like about this is the variety. I would never really think about getting all these ingredients.
20-year-old Kelvin is a cook.
Being a cook has been a deep-rooted aspiration since I was young. In secondary school, I had high marks in home economics.
In 2010, after taking the Certificate of Education exams, Kelvin took a 2-year course at the Chinese Cuisine Training Institute. He now works full-time from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. at a Chinese restaurant.
Obviously, my ultimate goal is to be a successful executive chef.
Here, Kelvin is buying ingredients to prepare for a cooking competition organized by the Chinese Cuisine Training Institute.
Buying scallops, the most important is to check that its shell is complete and clean, and the inside is complete.
His partner is a former classmate, 20-year-old Ka-hing. Ka-hing works full-time at the Chinese restaurant of a hotel, but recently started taking more classes at CCTI.
Its environment, facilities, etc. are just the same as the industries. All the masters here have very deep knowledge, having worked in large restaurants or hotels outside. So learning culinary skills here, we can easily adapt to the food industry later on.
The curriculum here includes nutrition and basic hygiene.
And kitchen safety.
Take my fireproof apron. When we were in elementary class, maybe everyone wasn't familiar with the stove. Adding an extra layer when we turned on the fire can protect us.
The duo is practicing making their competition dish.
The whole procedure uses the least deep frying as possible. We stir fry or steam the food. We don't add MSG. We normally use fresh and seasonal ingredients. The flavors are richer, so we don't need to add much flavoring.
Our average customer not only wants a delicious dish, they care about their health too. The current trend is 1 high, 3 lows. High fiber, low sugar, low oil, low salt.
That's the crux of the government's Eat Smart campaign started in 2008. More than 600 participating eateries offer more fruits and vegetables or less salt, sugar, and fat.
It gives us more choices when we really have to eat out. I hope, everybody have more awareness about, healthy eating. That will push the restaurants at least to provide some healthier choices for the consumers.
Today's competition is to have a platform for young cooks to exchange culinary skills.
I hope to see more of other countries' dishes. How are they made? Can I add it to Chinese dishes and make a new dish or cooking method? My biggest goal is to have my own restaurant.
When you put on the table beautiful colors, you can stimulate the appetite. Color and taste are the most important. The third thing is the cooking method. For a fried dish, is it crispy? If you steam, is it soft and smooth?
When wrapping, I was nervous because time was tight and I couldn't let it burst. Very happy and excited. First, thanks to my partner. Actually, we had long arguments before preparation. In the end, we discussed and we compromised.
We can also learn from each team's cooperation.
Hope that we can win.
希望贏到比賽啦。
And they did.
Well, thank you for watching our show. It will be re-aired on Saturday as well as on tvb.com. Until next time, from the Pearl Report team, good night, good luck, and good health.